And I was diagnosed with a form of dysautonomia called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's POTS for short. A little bit about dysautonomia. It's the malfunction of one's autonomic nervous system, and it controls the things that we don't consciously think about, like our heart rate, our blood pressure, our digestion, things like that. And POTS, which is what I have, it can cause lightheadedness, fainting, dizziness, tachycardia, which is a really fast heart rate, chest pains, shortness of breath, shaking, exercise intolerance, temperature sensitivity. So I figured I would make a quick little video and explain my struggles, my symptoms, and what I've had to deal with since I've been diagnosed. And hopefully it can make some of my friends and family understand me a little bit better and understand people with POTS and how hard the struggle is on a daily life. Um, so I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to offer any medical advice. I have no PhD. I will offer some advice that helps me along the way. It might not help you. And I'd like to mention that everybody with POTS is different. Nobody is the same. So my symptoms might be similar to somebody else's, but they're never going to be the same. Theirs could be mild, severe, life-threatening. So there's ranges of different types of POTS and what your body does. So mine basically started when I was around 15, 16 years old. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Everybody portrayed it off as I was one, crazy. Two, it was all in my head. I had anxiety. I had depression. So I dealt with that for a number of years growing up, and nobody could ever figure it out. But it was a very mild case, so it is hard to diagnose. It wasn't up until December of 2015, and right now I'm 27, so it took a few years that my POTS really hit home. The peak of it came out in December, and it was the worst time of my life. Put it that way. I woke up one morning after a cold. So let me backtrack. I got sick. I just had a regular normal cold, and I got rid of that. And 3 days later, I woke up and I couldn't see straight. I was very dizzy. Um, my heart rate increased dramatically, and I overall didn't feel well. And so I laid on the couch for a number of weeks, and in between me laying on the couch and not moving, my legs actually started to decondition. But I was very sick, and I couldn't stand up for more than 1 second without feeling like I was about to pass out. I was very nauseous. Um, Everything was just not working correctly, and I had no idea what was wrong. Basically, I felt like it was impending doom. I felt like I was dying just because I never felt this way before. I've had many attacks, but again, we always thought they were anxiety, and now we understand what they always were. So I would be on the couch and my legs deconditioned. So then I couldn't walk very well, and I would eventually have to crawl around on my floor, which was not fun at all. Very embarrassing moments. So basically, I finally got diagnosed, and now everything makes a whole lot of sense, my past and this. And now I'm struggling a lot more after being diagnosed, and we think it's because my POTS, like I said, it hit the peak in December right after that virus. So now I deal with things differently every day, not like when I was a child and they would just come and go. Now it's every day, continuously. So I have to do everything slow. So basically, when I get up in the morning, I have to move slow. I got to sit in my bed for a few minutes before I get up, or else my blood will pool down to my legs, and that's very painful as well. So if I stand I can't stand for more than 10 minutes. If I do, my legs and my feet will turn red like a tomato. They can turn purple, and they're very painful. They ache, and that's because of my blood pooling down to my legs. So it's very uncomfortable and painful. Some nights, my husband has to massage my legs because they ache that bad from previous activities during the day, which is just standing for, more than 10 minutes. If I do stand too long, not only does my blood pool down to my legs, but my heart rate goes really, really high. It can go anywhere from 120 to 180 just by standing up. So that sucks. What else here? I get really dizzy all the time. I'm talking right now and I'm getting dizzy. Right now I have a heart rate monitor watch right here. It's amazing. It beeps when my heart rate goes out of zone. So when I go too high, if it beeps, I just have to sit down. I do use a walker now. I have to use a walker for my everyday activities. If I try to cook, I have to sit on my walker because I can no longer stand, or else I feel like I will pass out. I've never passed out before. I've always prevented myself from doing so by laying down immediately. I remember one time in Walmart, I started not feeling well, and this is prior to my being diagnosed. I was shopping with my husband, and I had to lay down in an aisle to rest because I was either going to pass out or I needed to lay down, and I chose to lay in an aisle. Some people stare at you awkwardly when you're laying down in a Walmart aisle, but I had to do what I had to do to make myself feel better. I know my body, I know what I felt like, and I didn't want to smack down on the floor, so I kind of took a little nap in an aisle, and it works. So basically, when I'm lying down like this, I have hardly any symptoms. My heart rate is still higher than usual. When I'm sleeping, my heart rate's normal, so that's really good. It's just, when I'm up and about, it's really high. So when I'm down like this, I feel great. The minute I stand up, like if I stood up off this chair or off the couch, my heart rate will increase. My blood pools down to my legs. I get really, really dizzy, and that's pretty much my life now. Even if I went to bend, I can no longer bend down and pick things up off the ground either, because when I bend down, I get an instant headache. Like I'll sit there and hold my head like this because it's very painful. It does go away. I'm sure you guys understand the head rush feeling. I get that 24 hours a day. So, every time I bend over and pick something up now, I have to squat and go slowly because I don't like that feeling. I have a heat intolerance now. I can no longer take long baths. They're about 10 minutes, and they're very cool. The warmer they go, the dizzier I get, the worse I feel. So I'm in and out really, really quick. Sometimes I need help getting out of the bathtub just in case, if I do feel really bad, because I will stand up too quickly and I will go down. So I need help with a lot of stuff. I can't wash my own hair anymore. One, I can't stand in the shower. Two, I can't put my head down into a sink because, again, the dizziness, just everything, the overwhelming feelings I get are unbelievable. So I have to crawl up on my counter in my kitchen and lay back, and my husband or my mother will wash my hair for me. I've tried doing it numerous times. I failed, so for right now, I'm not going to do that. Even this motion doing this with my hair eventually will make me feel sick. By me saying I feel sick, it's the nausea. I have 24-hour nausea, so I have to eat smaller meals throughout the day. I can no longer have 3 big meals. That makes me feel a lot better. I now have to increase my salt intake. I did not choose to have a salt tablet. I just chose to have a lot of salt. So every meal that I make, I have salt or snacks. I don't know why my nose is really itchy today. I'm sorry. It's probably allergies. I do carry these with me everywhere I go. They are a cracker. They are salty. They are my best friend. These things are amazing. Gatorade is another point I carry. Some people might not like drinking a lot of Gatorade because of the sugar content. My sugar's fine, so I will continue to do so, or I mix it with water as well. I don't drink these every day. I only drink them when I feel like I'm crashing. Today's one of those days. So basically, they have a lot of salt, and they make me feel a lot better. So salt, water, I have to stay hydrated. I have to drink double the amount a regular person would drink. So I'm always having my water, my salt, everything on me 24 hours a day. Back to my walker. So I need that to sit down continuously. I can't walk very far. I get out of breath very quickly. Talking right now is making me out of breath. I don't really feel well making this video, but I'm trying to push through it. That's another thing that us POTS people do. We push ourselves every day, and some people they don't think that we do. Exercising your legs is another good thing that I have to stress. Like I said, I was on bed rest and my legs deconditioned to the point where I was crawling around on my floor because I lost a lot of muscle tone. That took several months for me to get back. I still can't exercise my legs by standing up, so I lay down on the floor and I will do leg exercises. Now, if you are on bed rest or know somebody who's on bed rest, make sure they do something with their legs, because it's deconditioning is not only painful, it can make everything so much more worse in the end. Um, what else can I quickly tell you about besides the horrific struggle that we have to deal with on a daily basis? It is a chronic illness. There is no cure for it yet. They do have things out there to um, manage your symptoms. So I'm managing my symptoms right now. Every day is different. It's pretty much I wake up every morning and I'm surprised. I can no longer plan things because I don't know how I'm going to feel when I wake up in the morning. I don't know how my day is going to be. Some days are good, some days are not. That pretty much sums up how I feel, which is just absolutely crappy on a regular basis. I was much worse. Right now, I'm dealing a lot better with it. Friends is a good topic. You will lose. I'm not going to say you will, but I personally lost a lot of friends. I don't think they like to deal with somebody who is sick and can't really do too much anymore. I can still go out. I just need to bring my walker. I have to be slow. I can't do too much anymore. I mean, it's not like I can go out and play basketball or run a marathon, because basically every time I stand up, that's another point. Every time I stand up, I'm running around the block. Just by standing up, that's how my body is. So I run marathons by doing absolutely nothing. Um, so yeah, back to the friends. I did lose quite a bit of friends. So if you do lose friends, it's not that big of a deal, honestly, because they were not your friends before. So just let them go, because obviously they don't need to be in your life if they're just going to bring you down. And I used to cry a lot about my friends not coming over to see me and supporting me. And now I kind of brush it off my shoulders. I have an amazing husband who's there for me, and my parents are absolutely great. I do have some solid friends out there that still, they still contact me. They still come and visit me. There's very few. It's probably like three. Thank you. You know who you are, and I really appreciate you sticking by my side for my bads, my good days. Um, so if you do lose some friends, like I said, not that big of a deal anymore. You can always make new ones, or just find a support system as well. If you do not have a good support circle, you can always go online. There's groups for people with dysautonomia and POTS. I'm involved in several different groups on Facebook, and they are amazing people. I mean, they help you mentally, emotionally, physically. They give you advice. They're there for you to listen, and that's another thing. Listening. If you know somebody with POTS or any type of illness, just listen. And if you don't understand, I mean, there's Google now. It's not like it's back in the day and the internet doesn't exist. Google is amazing, and you can find so much information on what their illness is, and you can educate yourself, because the more you educate yourself about what your friend or family member is going through, the more you can understand, and you can be there for them. Some advice I will give is, do not ever tell a POTS patient that it's all in their head. It's not in their head at all. Um, we push ourselves every day to our limits. The more we push ourselves, the sicker we can get. I'm gonna stress that, because I pushed myself to the point where I was sick for a week just because I wanted to exercise more. And I was sick for a week in bed, and there was no way I was ever doing that again. So, if you want to help your friend or family with POTS or dysautonomia or whatever illness they have, help them by listening. If you want them to exercise more, ask them what you can do to help them. Don't just be like, you need to exercise more. Maybe you need to, change your diet or intake your salt, or, we know what we need to do. So it's kind of irritating when you're telling us, it's not advice. You're basically telling us what to do, or, you're not a doctor either. So, I mean, it's just irritating. And for me, I've had a few arguments of people telling me, you need to push yourself more, or you need to exercise more, you need to sleep more. I know what I need to do. Thank you. So be nice and educate yourself so you have more knowledge. Another thing is sleep. I personally need about 11 hours of sleep a day, a night. If I get even 8 hours, I will have to nap for about 2 hours during the day. Sleep is very important for me with POTS. If, like I said, if I lack it, I'm on the couch all day. I don't feel well. I'm extra dizzy. My heart rate goes, extra higher. So I mean, sleep is something that I need, and I'm sure a lot of other POTS patients needs as well. I try to live my life as normal as possible. I do have to go slow, like I said. Any quick movements, I can get this syncope feeling, which is fainting. Um, Talking right now, like I said, I'm out of breath. I'm not feeling very well right now doing this, but I'm trying my hardest to get as much information as possible out there. So it's very hard. It can be very debilitating. Like there's days where I pretty much do absolutely nothing and I sit on my couch and watch the day go by. There's days where I can, go out and do things, but again, I have to be slow, and people have to be patient with me, which is key. What else can I cover here? I think that pretty much sums it. Oh, what was it? Yes, cooling vests for the summer. I've also noticed that it is summertime right now, and the heat and I do not mix. So you can also go and buy yourself a cooling vest, or if you can't afford a cooling vest, there's different ways to cool yourself down besides water. You can actually go to like a dollar store or a Dollar Tree and get like one of those sponges, and you can cut up the sponge, different colors if you like, or one solid color, and just thread the tiny sponges after you cut them up onto a thread and needle and make yourself a necklace out of a sponge. And then before you go outside, just dip it in water. I mean, not too many people will realize it's a sponge around your neck, but then again, who really cares? If it makes you feel better, you do it. I've done some embarrassing things that made me feel better. I've walked into a store and I almost passed out, and I literally knocked down a whole thing of batteries, and people were staring at me, and I'm just like, oh, sorry. So I mean, there's embarrassing moments and stuff like that, but you just got to brush it off your shoulder. You just got to be strong and keep moving forward and get yourself a support group, because they're very helpful. And I hope this video makes people understand that it is hard to deal with, because we do look like healthy people. Like if I'm standing or sitting in a restaurant, I look like I'm healthy. On the inside, I am crying, I am screaming. Um, that's another thing. It can be very emotional and very frustrating. I get very frustrated on a day-to-day basis because I never used to be this immobile. I'm just used to going out, getting in my truck, and driving off. Now I can't do that anymore. I'm limited, and it's a very, very, very debilitating illness. I'm going to stress that as well. POTS is very real, and it's very debilitating to some people. Um, I'm still trying to fluctuate my life a little bit. I still need help with everything I pretty much do. So I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of my independence. But I've gained respect for myself through this journey, because I never realized that how strong of a person that I am. And I'm a fighter, and I will fight. I mean, that's pretty much what we have to do, because this dysautonomia and POTS does not define me. I define who I am. It's a part of me, and it's something that I'm going to carry with. And it's kind of like my best friend, except for we don't really like each other. We're attached, and we're going to work together to hopefully do some great things in life in the future. So I just kind of wanted to get the awareness out that POTS is real. Dysautonomia is very debilitating. It can be very emotional. I've cried, I've laughed, I've frustrated. Every day is different. So, just be patient and take it day by day. And I know I'm sorry I talk a lot, but I have a lot to say. So basically, that pretty much wraps up this video. I also sit with my knees up. Sorry if they're in the way, but my knees have to be up because they can no longer dangle. I don't feel well when they're down. So my legs are always up. I always have to be sitting or laying down. Standing and I do not mix. So that pretty much sums up this video. If you have any more questions or comments, I mean, if it's negative, it doesn't really matter. I've heard enough negativity by strangers and everybody else. I mean, if you're ignorant, if you want to be ignorant, go for it. It's brushed off my shoulder already. I'm prepared for that. Um, but if you have any questions or comments, just let me know, and I will do my. Sorry, get a phone call. It's my dad. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to leave them. I'm an open book. I will talk about anything and try and help you and answer your questions as much as I can. So thank you for your time for listening, and have yourself a nice day. And please get the awareness out. Thank you.